In a town where secrets simmer just beneath the surface and redemption is a slippery illusion, the departure of Brad Cooper from General Hospital marks more than the end of a character arc. It signals the fallout from years of deception, survival instincts, and blurred loyalties finally coming to roost. Brad's story has never been one of clean breaks or moral clarity. Instead, it's been a layered journey filled with moral compromise, second chances squandered, and quiet betrayals that echo louder than explosions. And now, in a move that's both shocking and somehow inevitable, the infamous lab technician has left Port Charles once more, perhaps for good. Brad's presence at GH has long been a powder keg waiting to explode. Since his earliest days behind a microscope, he carried more than just test results in those sterile hallways. There was always something else, something darker, behind the smirk and sarcasm. For a man who once orchestrated the switch of newborn babies and falsified blood test results, the question was never if he would stumble again, but when. And with Portia Robinson maneuvering from the shadows, it didn't take long for old habits to resurrect themselves in devastating form. After returning to the hospital under the guise of repentance, Brad made every attempt to portray himself as a reformed man. He played the part well, keeping his head down and his nose clean. But the ghosts of his past never stopped whispering. When Portia cornered him into a partnership that blurred professional lines and ethical boundaries, it was only a matter of time before things spiraled. The chief of staff believed she held the reins, manipulating Brad into doing her bidding. But in Port Charles, power is an illusion, and loyalty is always for sale. Brad turned the tables with surgical precision. In a meeting that blindsided even the most jaded observers, he handed Drew Kane a bombshell revelation: Portia had drugged him. And it wasn't out of passion or vengeance, it was business. A cold, calculated transaction worth $1 million. With that confession, Brad did what he does best: he exposed someone else to save himself. He traded complicity for clarity and used the truth as both weapon and shield. His final moments at General Hospital weren't marred by chaos or confrontation. There was no shouting match, no dramatic goodbye. Just a man in a crisp new suit, walking away from the wreckage with a resigned nod to his ex and a suitcase heavy with cash and consequences. Lucas, once the love of his life, is already finding solace in someone new, Marco, whose grounded demeanor stands in sharp contrast to Brad's whirlwind of bad decisions and emotional landmines. Whatever hope remained between Brad and Lucas was extinguished long before Brad stepped out of that hospital for the last time. Perry Shen, who has played Brad since 2013, imbued the character with a rare complexity that kept fans both enraged and enchanted. Brad wasn't a villain in the traditional sense. He was something worse, someone who meant well but kept choosing wrong. His charm couldn't mask the damage he caused, and his apologies came too late for most. But that's what made him unforgettable. You never knew whether to root for him or recoil. And in soap operas, that's a kind of magic. Brad's exit, though quieter than his past downfalls, carries the weight of finality. For now, he is out of the game, armed with a fortune and perhaps, finally, a desire to start fresh. But in a world like Port Charles, loose ends never stay tied. Portia's empire is cracking, and Drew is no stranger to vengeance. If the right opportunity arises, if a threat needs to be neutralized or a secret needs to be buried, there's always the chance someone will reach out to a man who knows too much and fears too little. Could Brad return with a new identity, a new love, a clearer conscience? Possibly. Stranger things have happened in a town where people rise from the dead and enemies become allies overnight. But for now, he's vanished from the canvas, leaving behind a complicated legacy of manipulation, vulnerability, and emotional wreckage. His absence speaks volumes, a rare quiet in a show built on noise. It's easy to dismiss Brad as a cautionary tale or a convenient plot device. But look closer and you'll see something more, a man who tried to claw his way into redemption but never truly escaped the gravitational pull of his past. Whether he resurfaces one day with clean hands or dirtier than ever, one thing is certain: Brad Cooper's story isn't over. Not really. In Port Charles, it never is.